Houston, Texas, a sprawling metropolis of commerce and culture. It is home to one of America's most recognizable landmarks, not an office tower, nor a stadium, but a church, Lakewood Church. Every single Sunday, this colossal structure welcomed a staggering 45,000 people. Think about that number. More than the population of some American cities, all gathered for worship. It was a phenomenon that broadcast its message across the globe. For decades, its seats were filled. Its halls echoed with song. Its influence grew far beyond the city limits. Not just a church, a global religious center, a powerhouse of contemporary Christianity. But today, a starkly different picture emerges. Those same halls now sit hauntingly quiet. The vibrant energy has faded, replaced by an unsettling emptiness. The once packed sections now show vast, vacant spaces. A place once defined by crowds is now defined by absence. The scale of this change is hard to grasp. How did one of the largest churches become a shadow of itself? What happened to the tens of thousands who called it home? These emptier halls raise urgent questions beyond Lakewood. Is this unique to one institution, or a sign of a larger transformation across America? We are witnessing a nationwide decline in church attendance. Nearly 1/3 of American adults now identify with no religion. The journey from a packed arena to empty seats includes triumph and controversy. It is a story of faith, authority, and immense media power. A charismatic leader became a household name, and crises shook the congregation. To understand the decline, we must examine key milestones. From humble beginnings in 1959, to the move into a former sports arena, from a global broadcasting empire, to recent events that cast a long shadow. Why the lack of attendance now? The answer is complex. Table of Contents. Part 2, Act 1, Origins and Rise. Section 1, The Feed Store Beginnings. Section 2, A New Generation, A New Vision. Section 3, The Miracle Move to the Compaq Center. Section 1, The Feed Store Beginnings. The story of Lakewood Church does not begin in a grand arena or a television studio. It starts in a much humbler setting. In the heart of Northeast Houston, on Mother's Day of 1959, a man named Joel Osteen held the first service. The location was not a traditional church building. Instead, it was a dusty, abandoned feed store. John, a former Southern Baptist pastor, started a new, independent, charismatic church with his wife Dodie. The congregation was small, just a handful of families, but their faith was immense. Joel Osteen's preaching was passionate and filled with hope. He preached about the victory faith could bring to everyday life. He emphasized God's goodness. He emphasized the power of positive belief. The message resonated with people seeking encouragement and purpose. By the 1970s, Lakewood was becoming a significant presence in Houston. It was known for dynamic worship services. It was known for a racially integrated congregation, uncommon in the American South then. In 1979, Lakewood launched its television broadcast. The show brought John's message into living rooms across Houston and beyond. That move was a game changer. It transformed Lakewood from a local church into a regional force. By the late 1980s, Lakewood was a certified megachurch. Weekly attendance swelled from about 90 to over 6,000. The church became a model of charismatic growth built on Joel Osteen's powerful preaching, a welcoming community, the strategic use of television. This foundation set the stage for an even more dramatic expansion led by a new generation. Section 2, A New Generation, A New Vision. For nearly 40 years, Joel Osteen was the heart and soul of Lakewood Church. His son, Joel Osteen, had worked behind the scenes for years, producing his father's television broadcasts since 1982. Joel was a quiet, unassuming figure who had never preached a sermon in his life and had no desire to be in the spotlight. He was comfortable behind the camera. He was the producer, not the star. Everything changed in January 1999. With his father gravely ill, Joel felt an undeniable prompting to step up to the pulpit. Despite his fear and lack of experience, he delivered his very first sermon. Just days later, John Osteen passed away, leaving the future of the massive congregation in uncertainty. Who could possibly fill the shoes of its beloved founder? Reluctantly, Joel Osteen accepted the role of senior pastor, a position he never sought but now felt destined to hold. Joel's style was markedly different from his father's. John was a fiery preacher. Joel was calm. Joel was gentle. Joel was encouraging. His sermons felt less like theological dissertations. They were more like motivational talks infused with scripture. He simplified the message, focusing almost exclusively on hope, positivity, and the belief that God wants everyone to live a blessed and prosperous life. People who might have been intimidated by traditional church services found Joel's gentle demeanor and simple, positive message incredibly appealing and easy to digest. Under Joel's leadership, Lakewood Church entered a period of explosive growth. His telegenic presence and optimistic message were perfectly suited for television, and the church's broadcast reach expanded exponentially. Within a few short years, weekly attendance skyrocketed, doubling and then tripling. The existing church building, which once seemed so large, was now overflowing. It became clear that Lakewood had outgrown its home once again. A new vision was needed. A vision that would require a miracle. Section 3. The miracle move to the Compaq Center. Lakewood Church faced a significant problem, albeit a good one to have. It was simply too big for its own building. Their search led to a highly unconventional idea: a professional sports arena. The Compaq Center, former home of the Houston Rockets, stood as a city landmark. For Joel Osteen, it became an opportunity, a divinely inspired one. He envisioned transforming a temple of sport into a temple of worship. The idea met considerable skepticism. It was an enormous, expensive, and logistically complex undertaking. The church would have to navigate city politics. The process was a long, arduous battle. For several years, the outcome hung in the balance. Joel Osteen called it a test of faith, encouraging the congregation to believe for a miracle. After years of persistence, prayer, and negotiations, the Houston City Council voted in favor in 2003. The church secured a long-term lease and embarked on a colossal $100 million renovation, funded entirely by the church and its members without incurring bank debt. In July 2005, Lakewood held its first service in the new home. The former Compaq Center was now a state-of-the-art worship facility, seating over 16,000. The grand opening drew national media attention and cemented Lakewood's status as America's largest church. They had transformed a secular icon into a spiritual beacon, broadcasting their message of hope from the heart of the city to the world. Table of Contents. Part 3, Act 2. The Joel Osteen Era and Media Reach. Section 1. The Smiling Preacher and the Power of Television. Section 2. Building a Global Media Empire. Section 3. Hollywood-style productions and celebrity faith. Section 4. The Authority of the Image. With the move to the Compaq Center complete, the stage was set for Joel Osteen to become one of the most recognizable religious figures in the world. His signature smile became a brand in itself, a visual cue for the hopeful message he delivered. His sermons were crafted like motivational speeches, focusing on overcoming adversity with a positive mindset. This television-friendly style was no accident. Having spent nearly 2 decades producing his father's broadcasts, Joel had an innate understanding of the medium. He knew how to connect with an audience through the camera lens, creating a sense of intimacy and personal connection despite the vast distances. The impact was immediate and profound. The Lakewood Church broadcast exploded in popularity under Joel's leadership. It soon became the most watched inspirational program in America, syndicated on religious networks, USA Network, Lifetime, Discovery. This crossover appeal was crucial. For many, Joel Osteen became the face of modern American Christianity, approachable, non-judgmental, and relentlessly optimistic. It created a unified brand and a consistent experience, whether you were sitting in the 16,000-seat arena or watching from your living room sofa. The success of the American television broadcast was just the beginning of Lakewood's global ambition. The television program was dubbed into multiple languages and broadcast in over 100 countries. Suddenly, the smiling preacher from Houston was speaking to families in Manila, São Paulo, Johannesburg. Lakewood aggressively embraced the internet and social media, with live streaming, podcasts, Facebook, Twitter. This media empire was not just about broadcasting sermons, it was a multifaceted enterprise. Joel Osteen became a best-selling author. The ministry also organized large-scale stadium events. The result was a powerful and pervasive brand. The Lakewood name and the Joel Osteen persona became synonymous with optimistic, prosperity-focused Christianity. The services evolved into Hollywood-style productions. Joel Osteen began sharing his stage with famous figures: Kanye West, Tyler Perry, Terry Crews. Those events generated enormous buzz and widespread media coverage. Supporters said it was modern evangelism. Critics argued it commodified faith and prioritized spectacle over substance. Section 4. The authority of the image. The image of the packed 16,000-seat arena became a powerful symbol of the ministry's vitality and divine favor. The ever-present smile, the tailored suits, the perfect family by his side. It all contributed to a picture of an ideal, blessed life. He didn't just preach about living your best life now, he appeared to be living it. The media empire was the machine that manufactured and distributed these powerful images. Ultimately, this reliance on the authority of the image was both Lakewood's greatest strength and its potential vulnerability. The story of Lakewood's subsequent challenges is, in part, the story of what happens when the carefully controlled image collides with a more complex and difficult reality. The carefully polished image of Lakewood Church faced one of its most significant tests in August 2017, as Hurricane Harvey descended upon Houston. However, as the storm raged, a different story began to circulate on social media. Reports and images emerged suggesting that the massive church had closed its doors to flood victims. The public outcry was swift and fierce. The hashtag #JewOpenTheDoors began trending. Lakewood officials initially stated that the building itself was at risk of flooding, a claim that was immediately challenged by photos and videos posted by local residents. The public relations damage was immense. The image of a wealthy church in a massive, empty arena turning away desperate families was a powerful and damning one. Though the church did eventually open as a shelter and donation center, the initial perception had already solidified. Section 2. The Prosperity Gospel Under Scrutiny. Critics argue the prosperity gospel distorts Christianity's core. It shifts focus from spiritual transformation to material gain. Critics say this harms the poor and vulnerable, offering false hope that poverty is simply a lack of faith. The lavish lifestyle of Joel Osteen is often shown as Exhibit A, multi-million-dollar mansion. For critics, this wealth juxtaposed with requests for donations creates a troubling picture. The debate was amplified by a 2023 social experiment. Those viral incidents reinforce the idea that promises of abundance don't always become tangible support for those in need. The simmering controversies were compounded by the global upheaval of the COVID-19 pandemic. In 2022, observers and media reports noted a significant drop in physical attendance. Large sections of the cavernous arena were now visibly empty. Then, on February 11, 2024, the sense of Lakewood as a safe and positive sanctuary was violently shattered. A woman entered the church armed with an AR-15 and began shooting. In the ensuing chaos, 2 off-duty officers working as security engaged the shooter. Tragically, the shooter's own 7-year-old son, who she brought with her, was critically injured by a gunshot to the head. The incident sent shockwaves through the congregation and the nation, transforming a house of worship into a crime scene. The empty pews were no longer just a post-pandemic trend. They were now a stark visual representation of a ministry grappling with deep and complex challenges. The story of Lakewood's empty seats is not happening in a vacuum. The most significant indicator of this shift is the rise of the nuns, a growing demographic of people who, when asked about their religious affiliation, select none of the above. According to recent studies by the Public Religion Research Institute, nearly 1/3 of all American adults, a staggering 30%, now identify as religiously unaffiliated. Several powerful forces are driving this disaffiliation. A growing distrust of large institutions. Many view organized religion as judgmental, politically divisive, and hypocritical. Furthermore, the internet has democratized information and spirituality, allowing them to curate a personalized belief system. Zooming in from the national landscape to Lakewood's own backyard reveals an equally complex picture. For the first time in over 35 years of polling, the majority of Houston area residents are not regularly attending religious services. Only 45% reported attending a service in the last month. This data reveals a paradox. Houston is both the home of America's largest church and a city experiencing a significant and accelerating decline in religious observance. The church is not just competing with other churches for members. Sunday brunch, youth sports, the simple desire to sleep in. The story of Lakewood's empty seats is more than an institutional crisis. It is an existential one. Which brings us back to the central question: why the lack of attendance now? Is it a religious shift or a decline in religious affiliation? The answer appears to be a complex intersection of both. The decline is partly a verdict on Lakewood itself. More broadly, it's a reflection of a culture reassessing its relationship with organized religion. Can it reinvent itself to connect with a generation that values authenticity over production and community engagement over celebrity spectacle? Lakewood Church at dusk, lights on, but the surrounding parking lots visibly sparse. We began with a stark and startling contrast. The image of a church that once gathered a city-sized congregation of 45,000 every Sunday, now sitting with vast sections of empty seats. The journey from a packed arena to a place of echoes is not a simple story. It is a complex tapestry woven from immense success, seismic cultural shifts, moments of public controversy, and a global pandemic. Lakewood's rise was a masterclass in modern media and marketing, a relentless optimism packaged for TV, a charismatic, smiling preacher. The move into the Compaq Center was the ultimate symbol of this success. But an authority built on a polished image is inherently fragile. Cracks began to appear with controversies like the response to Hurricane Harvey and persistent scrutiny of the prosperity gospel. Yet, to declare this a fall may be premature. Lakewood Church, despite the visible decline in physical attendance, remains a formidable institution. Its online viewership still numbers in the millions. The story is not over. The empty seats are not a finale, but an echo of megachurch dominance, a reflection of a nation grappling with faith. How will it adapt to this new spiritual landscape? A world that is more skeptical, more fragmented,